It's good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing this program from. Welcome to another broadcast of Pitch Deck 101. Just a little backdrop on Pitch Deck 101. We started this brand because we noticed many businesses across the world they struggle to access capital, and even when they access capital, they struggle to exit that debt portfolio. So we have started this brand to really help people across the world to understand money markets. And meaning that is to understand money market portfolios, understand how to access, how to leverage, and how to mitigate. The icing on the cake here is that we are now partnering with commercial loan brokers and private equity investors, top credit institution to really help businesses, our clientele, to access a wide financial market in order to move their businesses and their dream and forward. Today, with me in the studio, I have a very dynamic person, and she is the founder of Expand Life Mastery INC. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned so you can learn more about this very unique brand and how this brand can help you to live a better quality of life now. Now, just a little housekeeping. Uh, Joan, who is the brain behind Expand Life Mastery Inc., we have just helped her set up her US branch. So she is now officially having her documents. If you recall the last program that we had with Joan, we said that we are now in that process. Well, now that process is 90% complete. She has her business certificate. She has her EIN. She is now waiting for her ITIN to move the big process forward. With that being said, Joan, I know that you're based in the UK. I know that you're spreading your tentacles across the world, and I must say that's a very ambitious move, and we're here to give you full support. But to get the ball rolling, I want to ask you just a few questions today as a follow up to our last conversation. What inspired you to start Expand Life Mastery?
Well, thank you so much, Gary, for the introduction. And also, I would like to say thank you as well for your support. And of course, you had something to do with it, which I will mention. But
Don't even
what
mention.
inspired me? I started, well, first, I would like to say greetings to everyone. I love to greet everyone first. I started really with writing my book, and the book is about discovering whether you expand or whether you destroy your life, whether you grow or expand your life, or do you destroy your life if you have a relationship with fear. And that has led me to looking into something that a lot of us talk about, which is loving the self. And as a result of that, I wanted to share this awareness, this knowledge that I've gained over time through study, through mentoring as well, that individuals do expand their lives, even when something will go maybe the way how they don't want. They still can expand their lives from that situation as well as they can destroy their lives. And many individuals, if they were to shift their perspective, if they were to see that that has happened, then they will have a different way of feeling about themselves. They will feel, oh, well, life is worth living. Life is not so bad after all, because I have grown out of this and I can see where I have grown and I've expanded my life. and I love myself a little bit more. Now, the love part as well, that's a big part of it, which I will probably go into a bit later, but is to share with others how I can, how they have expanded their lives, and also how they can expand their life further with the knowledge, with the awareness, as well as to not just share it, but to guide and sometimes to teach individuals that, because it depends on what their needs are at the time. So that's really what inspired me. And I'd like to say as well that having met you in Clubhouse, and I noticed that you were a business mentor, and I knew that I needed some business support. I needed something else to help me. After all, I see myself as all things. Yes, I do, but I do not have to be directly involved in all things. I can reach out. So I reached out to you. Your business being club deck. I'm so sorry. Your business being pitch deck, pitch deck 101. And you have supported me. I want to mention this. You have supported me in seeing so many possibilities with what I can do with material, just like what I am choosing to do with others as well in their own personal and business mentoring life. Personal life in terms of their own personal life, and even if it's to do business, I can still help them in the way how they perceive themselves in business. So that's it. I hope that was helpful.
All right, thanks for that share. And I just want to say, just before I come back to your book, I want to share with the public that Joan, for many years, she worked in the financial sector. So she has a wealth of knowledge in terms of money management. She has now crossed over into life management with this new brand, Expand Life Mastery, INC. And what I love about this brand that Joan has developed is that the key focus of this brand is really to help you to take your life experiences, good or bad, and to show you how to leverage that as stepping stones to expand and to embrace the greatest possibilities in life. So, if you're that individual and you want to know more as to how to grow and how to expand, how to take good and bad experiences and see the wisdom in them, to see how you can leverage that experience to grow and to expand in so many different ways in your life, Joan is the person for you to tap into. Joan, I've worked with you on your book. We have talked a lot about that book, and I'm really impressed with the scope of focus of this book. What I love about this book is that it talks a lot about self discovery and self love. And you find some time in the corporate world because you're so focused on increasing your disposable income. You're so focused on identifying customer needs and satisfying those customer needs. You tend to neglect the self. And there's where all types of illnesses comes in, high blood pressure, you name it, everything comes in. So what your book does, it really helps the person, the individual, the entrepreneurs, and the average person in life to become more rounded and more balanced in how they position themselves for success. Because what your brand does, it really brings them to that point to understand that when you pour into yourself, first of all, you have more to pour into your loved ones and those around you, and there is where you're able to be more impactful in what you're doing. So it's really a beautiful book, and I have no doubts that this is a book that will transform people's lives. What I love is that also is that you're a woman, and you're not allowing that to define you. You're not allowing that to limit how far you grow as an entrepreneur. You started this vision in the UK, And now you have expanded this vision over to the United States of America, where you now have a great opportunity to achieve so much more. And I'm happy to be alongside you to with our team to provide you that strategic intervention to grow and to expand. Um, I want to have another question that I want us to look at. How can expand life mastery position people to achieve self awareness? And I do believe that self awareness is so important because you have so many people today in life. They are doing things, they are successful, but they are not self aware. And very often you see persons become millionaire, persons become billionaire, but because of not being self aware, they self sabotage. How can your program help people to become more self aware?
Okay, thank you for the question. Um, in your statement just before, you were sort of like just going on that particular answer, really, and that is being more rounded. Some, as you mentioned about being a billionaire, and billionaire and so on. You know what? To be that millionaire or billionaire or whatever it is that we have become, it could be something very small. It doesn't have to be something big. We had to love ourselves to become that thing. We had to have love ourselves in that area. The limit is that area. And some of us might expand the love further in that and so on for that thing to be expressed or for us to express ourselves to the degree that we would have expressed ourselves. Maybe a billionaire, maybe a millionaire, maybe a business person. Something we had to love in the areas for it to come to life. And then when we get there, some of us, we find that there's blockage in other areas that we would want to express ourselves. We can only identify with that area, some of us, that we have expressed ourselves, but to cross over in another area of life is so difficult. It is not difficult. All it is the belief systems that we have had, which has stopped us from realizing that we are all things. So if I choose to be a business person in the UK and for some reason I want to do something different, I can create it to be where I am in a different country. I'm in the US and be a business person. I'm not limited in any way. I can be successful here in the UK, and I can also choose to be somewhere else and be successful there. So this is the point. So how can um, how can expand life help individuals to move beyond their limiting belief? Is well, there are quite a few techniques we have. Um, you have to look at self. Number one,
Or,
how much do you love yourself
yeah,
in this area?
I'm going to come to limited beliefs just now. I really want us to drill in just a little bit into self awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It's really becoming more aware of yourself, and you've said it. I mean, you've said it when you said that our limiting belief prevents us from growing and expanding because we are not fully self-aware of the rich potential that we have to change our reality. I think in many cases we might be waiting on a fairy tale godmother, a fairy tale godfather to come in and make things happen wishfully, you know, magically, not recognizing that we have the potential with self awareness
Uh-huh.
to write the story in
Uh-huh.
our book. and to change that chapter whenever we want to change that chapter, to rewrite it. And I think that in talking with you and in reading your book, this is something that I take away. You know, when you speak on the point of self awareness, is really coming to that point of being fully aware that you have to become the author of your life, the maker of your life, the shaper of your destiny. And your books speak very eloquently about this.
Can I add something?
Ye- Yes. So, with that, I want to move to the third question. We have
Okay.
two more questions that I want to ask you. And this is where the limiting belief comes in. How can expand life mastery help people overcome limiting belief and achieve economic freedom? And this to me, it's a strong point. I, there's a story that goes that if you believe you can, you're right. And if you believe that you cannot, you're also right. But you find today in the world that the majority of the people in the world, they have limiting belief. And sometimes what people try to do is to impose their limiting belief, their limited mindset on you. And if you're not self aware, you can be overcome by the magnitude of negative feedback about yourself that can literally hold you back. Um, how can expand life mastery really help people to get beyond those limited thoughts that are holding them back?
Right. Thank you. So, like, sometimes you will be taught, people will say that you can only do this, which you're only good for this type of work. Maybe you want to be in your heart, you want to be a doctor, and then you say your parents or whoever it is that have an influence on you, um, say that you must be a singer, and you have gone on to pursue that area, and you have seen that this is your life. You cannot go into that area of being a doctor because this is how others see you, and you've bought that. So you've limited yourself by the beliefs that you've taken on from others as well, and you take that on and accept that. Now, the way that we can help is to make you realize that you can choose anything that you want to choose. There's nothing that's stopping you except your mind. Nothing that is stopping you from choosing except your mind. So we can start with the mind and work backwards to go beyond the mind. And this is the type of work we do. We're not only working with mind, the mind is only part of who we are. So we start to tell the mind, command the mind that these are the things that, you know, I am choosing to do, and get the mind to make it happen, and start opening up your perspective about yourself and showing the mind that you are not only who it is that you have been, which is this singer, you're also a doctor. You might not have been physically that doctor, but you have got the sufficiency sufficiency to be a doctor. You've got the talent to be a doctor. All that we have to do is put that into practice and go forward. So it's like expanding the mind, bringing different perspective to the mind, opening the mind up to different awareness of who it is that you are. You are taking charge. And then before you know it, you're there, because you're using the mind to help you. Not that the mind is doing it, you are commanding the mind. The mind is being used as a tool, and that's the way we can do it. So, and that
I
applies to anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really love what you said, and what I take away is to see your mind as this car, but
Mhm.
you could either be a good driver or a bad driver of that car. If you're good in driving the car will be maintained for a long time. The car will last longer. The car will,
Mhm.
be more effective. It's just like the mind.
Yeah.
You have the mind, but do you have the ability to drive your mind, to control your mind, to take ownership over your mind? And I think that's, you have bring a different equation to how we see ourselves, a different equation to how we take back control over our lives, because you're saying to people across the world that you need to command your mind, your words,
Yeah.
command your mind.
Yeah.
And that is something that we are not taught traditionally. So I want to believe that your socialization in the UK, your socialization in the US, and perhaps other parts of the world have really expanded your way of thinking to show you that there is another way. And I do believe that this way is really what allows you to recognize that your life, you can take it into your hands and truly make a decision as to where you want it to go. And it's not about what, you know, everyone on the outside
Yeah.
is saying, because they have an opinion and their opinion is shared by their knowledge and their experiences that may not necessarily be yours. And you don't want to be living a life of someone else's, experiences. You want to, know that you can embrace the
Yes.
realities of life based on this new awakening of self and breaking through barriers that you were talking about. So I want to say public, look out for Joan, look out for Expand Life Mastery, INC. I am certain, all right, a whole lot of transformational thinking is going to be coming your way that will help you to break free from limiting belief and put you in that position of strength where you can even grow faster. Joan, I'm aware also that your platform is not just, and I know you're now beginning to get warm up because I know you have a visibility game plan where you're going to be now across various social media platform. Um,
Yes.
but I know that your aim also is not just the talk, not just the education, but you're doing the mentorship, the coaching. You're
Yes.
providing an ecosystem to business, to people. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mentorship one-to-one, that will be done as well. Also, online videos, people will have access to that. Um, Also, studying
We
in
can
groups,
afford
that
for
will
a
be,
lot of webinars too.
yes, webinars, and
Okay.
also retreats. Every
Reach.
opportunity to accommodate people.
Good.
Yeah.
Love that. So, folks, do um, I will put some information in this video, so you can go to it and follow the links, so you can connect with Joan on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and those social media platforms. So you can tap into her, you can engage with her, and talk to her of ways in which she can help you to expand your way of thinking, expand your life, and to break free from limiting belief. John, the last question I want to ask you today is, why should the public invest confidence in the expand life mastery?
Thank you. Um, well, the invest confidence, I would like to say, is really in the investment is in themselves. It may seem like it's a like it's a expand life mastery, but the investment is really within them. Um,
I love that. I
most,
love that. I love that. What I'm getting is that you were saying expand life mastery. The value proposition is really to help people to connect with self, to help people to understand the richness of their potential to grow and expand. So when they're
Mhm,
coming, they're not
mhm,
coming necessarily for the expand life mastery, but they're coming to embrace that value proposition that will help them to
exactly,
discover more about themselves. Awesome. Got you. All
exactly,
right.
exactly. And they are
Okay.
sufficient. They are also sufficient to invest in themselves, and they are the one that make the choices. So expand life mastery is here to enable to em- them to empower themselves. That's really what we're adding to who they are already. We're adding to them. So they're not
All right.
giving anything of themselves. We're adding to who they are already.
To
So
themselves.
that's the reason why.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I know that I have to get used to some of your jargon.
Yeah,
When you say that, we all are sufficient, the average person would want to say, if I'm sufficient, why I'm stuck here with my, where I am in life, I'm sufficient.
therefore, you are,
Uh,
yeah, you are sufficient to even be stuck. That is the point. That is the
yeah,
point. And
yeah,
from
you're
there,
you're
you
stuck.
can,
Yeah, I guess that's where the self-awareness comes into play.
yes, yes,
And that's where the mindset comes into play.
exactly. So
Okay.
there's no
And
way that we can, there's no way that we can feel there's no way out. We have a way out no matter where we're at.
there's always a way. Where
Yeah,
there is a
we
will,
have to
there
be.
is a way.
Hmm.
So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Exactly.
All right. But there you had it. We had a brief conversation today with Joan. She is the brain behind Expand Life Mastery. She has a massive team. I'm a part of one of her social media platform, and in wow, no, Joan, I point you in the direction, and in a couple of days, you had I take over 75 persons in that group. So, and you're building pretty fastly, in just a couple of hours. I mean, she did this. So there's look out for Expand Life Mastery. It's going to be growing fast. It's going to be really, laying a foundation to touch and transform lives across the world. We're happy at Pitch Deck 101 at Global Capital Inc. at 10x Brandon and Marketing LLC out of New York to be supporting the growth and expansion of your operation. For those who might be joining us now, and you want to know more about Pitch Deck 101, I want to encourage
I
you
want
to go
you
to
to
our
go to
website,
the website,
which is
which is
pitchdeck101.org, and read more about what we do so you can learn more and of how you can become a part of what we are doing. Now, in closing again,
in
I want
closing
to
again.
just
I
turn
want to just
attention to Joan. Joan, any last words before to your audience before we close today's program?
Yes. The word I'd like to leave you with is to realize that we are all things, and it's for us to learn to know who we are first before we can love that person. So know who that person is, explore that person, explore who you are. You are, yeah,
Brilliant.
explore that. Explore
Go
that.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Explore who you are. You may not, you're physical, yes, but there's so many other parts of who we are. So to just leave it to the physical is not sufficient. And why not explore that? For you to be able to love something, you have to know that thing, know that you're loving the completeness of that thing. And when we talk about loving ourselves, we're talking about loving the completeness of that self, not only a fraction of it, the completeness of it. And that is I find exciting and interesting. And that's
So
my
love
share.
all of you.
you
Love
the
all of you.
Yes,
So this is the love trait. I love that,
yes.
love you. The, the,
Look,
the, the spiritual side of you, the physical side of you, that emotional side of you, the ugly side of you that you might think is ugly or someone might think is ugly. Just embrace you. Just be
Yes,
you.
yes. Look
I
at
got you.
yes. Look at
I
those.
love
Can we say one more thing? Can I say one more thing? Look
that.
at
Go ahead.
those billionaires and millionaires. Let's use them for a moment. I know it sounds like we're looking at money, but it's not only money, just that they stand out. They love the money. They love all the things that they do to make it happen. They may not perceive it as love. That's the difference. But it is love for those things. That's why it happened. And
You got
because
it.
some individuals may not want to see it as love because for them love is like too, you know, softy. They judge it, but the reality is that, and that's it.
You know, I have a friend in the US, and when she's on stage, when we were on stage, she always says, "Money loves me. I love money, and money love me. And money is finding its way to me abundantly. And there's nothing wrong."
Brilliant.
All right, John, great talking with you today. Remember, the place to go to for expansion in the life, in thoughts, and business is Expand Life Mastery. Joan is not alone. She has a team. She's collaborating with a number of subject matter experts that will help you to achieve whatever goal you're going after in life. So feel free to connect with Joan and learn more about what she's doing so you too can grow and expand. Thanks, John. We do this soon,
Thank
right?
you,
Be
guys.
blessed. You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome. Bye bye. Bye bye.